1,000 kilos on the crane. What did the V2 weigh?
Already in 1942, had Germany planned to mass-produce the V2 rockets, and multiple facilities were cited in order to get the most output possible. They were estimating 900 rockets per month could be built. Thus, in Vienna, the Raxwerke near Wiener Neustadt was designated as one of three main production sites, along with the Zeppelin Works in Friedrichshafen and the Peenemünde Army Research Center, and we know all how that went. We know the Germans often, probably too often, began to produce a weapon system long before it had undergone the complete testing, and with hundreds of redesigns to follow, as was the V2, redesigned after production had begun, thus proving that point. However, the plan was made to get the damn thing in the air, and quickly. Austria was a good, and until 1943, safe place to house large above-ground production. Most of you have heard of the huge underground rocket production facility at Nordhausen, and of course, you've heard of Peenemünde. But most of you may not have heard of the huge above-ground factory just outside Vienna, where V2 rockets were also produced, or perhaps the testing facility not far from there, codenamed Schleier. So, it is time to visit both of them, following the special project's journey through Austria towards Lehesten and Nordhausen. And one of the more amazing engineering feats involved was not actually the weapons production part, but the relocation of one huge factory hall from one country to another. About an hour and a half drive from Vienna, there was a large brewery located. We have visited this before. In case you have not seen that episode, I do recommend it. But we wanted to go back and look for some of the details I missed in my previous visit there. This is where V2 rocket engines were tested before deployed, just like at Riedbutt by Lehesten in central Germany, close to Dohr-Mittelbau. The codename here was Schleier, initially under command of SS Hauptsturmführer George Buchmeier. The site was established in September 1943 and primarily used as a testing site for V2 rockets, combustion chamber and turbopumps, as well as a production facility for liquid oxygen. It was part of Germany's effort to decentralize and protect V2 production after Allied bombing disrupted earlier sites like Peenemünde and the Raxwerke outside Vienna as well. From here, Schleier took over V2 motor testing after equipment was relocated from the Raxwerke in 1943. Their testing equipment was moved to Schleier to continue in a more secure location, under tons of cement and steel, and underground in reinforced tunnels. By 1944, Schleier was operational, testing approximately 500 V2 rocket engines before they were installed in rockets fired at the Allied targets. The facility focused on testing the compatibility of V2 combustion chambers with turbopumps, which pumped propellant, like liquid oxygen, and ethanol water mixture, into the engine. The V2 lacked a controller to reduce propellant flow if pressure became too high, making precise testing critical.
Guess it's not helping if I'm walking in front of you. But these were the old brewery tunnels originally, right? Weren't they? These were the old brewery.
These were the old brewery tunnels.
These were the tunnels that were here before.
Yes.
right, right? They used these for the big tanks too, didn't they?
I think that one was for the things. They used to store the ice.
Yeah. And this is one of the holes that the people who try to break in will fall down. You still have people trying to break in up here?
Down here and on the top of the bunker.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I did see a couple of videos of people crawling around out there, but they didn't show how they got in. Seal off.
The area is so big and wide
Yeah.
up there.
But this is definitely World War II. You remember the eggs? We were in cement yesterday, and up in Ebensee. Have you ever been to any of those?
Nope.
It's a hell of a thing. But this is sort of what these tunnels would look like. And then you just have add 9 kilometers of them, and then you can sort of imagine what couldn't they do? Like, they could pretty much build anything.
You could go in front to the old entrance from the train.
I haven't seen it from the outside, only seen it from the inside. The corner they broke to get stuff out.
So there in front there, where the forklift is parked, there were the train tracks inside to unload and load the O2.
And they broke this whole corner to pull tanks out after the war, right? Wasn't that what they did?
I don't know if it was after the war.
Or during?
I don't know.
No. But it kind of shows how thick the cement is.
That was the entrance. You see the areas that were set back, that are the areas where the doors were in when they were open.
Yeah.
They had two thick doors to close it.
When the accident happened, was that von Braun's relative or Dornberger? I remember somebody's sister or someone died in that accident. I just can't remember who it was.
I know that there died many people.
Yeah. But no, that there was one specific person that was related to one of the rocket scientists that died.
I don't know. But it wasn't tough.
Yeah.
That was the area where the train tracks were. So here they went by train, but also bunkered it up.
Oh yeah.
And here there was the unloading and loading point for the train wagons.
Was there a second floor? No, that's not what these are for.
I don't know exactly. I think in the first stage there was a wooden ceiling, and that's where the beams stood in. I think.
I mean, it was always nice enough for them to come build all this stuff so you can use it after the war.
Part of them were there before. Now
You get some of the hallways and this stuff in here. This is all stuff, or in there.
You can put out the garbage also. Shouldn't be in there.
Nah. At least you have the most protected brewery in Germany. Austria, I'm sorry. Oh, I didn't see that last time. That is the groove for the sliding door. I didn't notice there was a sliding door here last time. I didn't notice there was a forklift coming and run me over either. But here we go. I did not notice that groove. I
think there was a big sliding door.
There was. I just never noticed that.
I think that was the first door, was a sliding door, and then there was the area for the guys who protected it.
Yeah.
And then there were 2 additional doors, the big ones.
And then there was these for
the
anchors. They almost look like anchors.
I think they were to lock it from the back.
Yeah. So were there rooms in here that's been cemented up? Were there rooms in here that's been closed up?
I don't think so. So that's just for the doors.
Oh yeah, the doors would close into this dip, so they wouldn't be in the way. Yeah, that's right. Oh, of course. There's a little dip for the.
That was the room where the guard was in.
Now I see the double doors that close. It's one time is never enough, because then you go. It's interesting when I do this and I run around, I film, and a lot of times she keeps finding bones and body parts and dead things. Which she's a nurse by trade. She keeps finding dead things.
Hopefully not that people.
Oh hell. Well, we found yeah. Well, the bones didn't come from animals, so.
Okay.
So yeah, a little bit. But it's funny, when I only see things through the camera, I don't see it until I get home and I start editing. And then I always wish I'd seen this or done that or... Heavy. Are you done charging soon? It's like, can you actually do what I've bought you to do? Oh. Is that a ventilation shaft? Or a ventilation? Is that ventilation?
I don't know where it's going. But I think it's stopping somewhere in the back. It goes back here.
I'm intrigued.
I wouldn't trust the wood. It's just finished here. It goes up. I think that was a prop to get to the front.
I mean, if I see a snake like this, my thought is it was a blast deflection. So if there was an explosion anywhere, it would be stopped by these walls.
Yeah. For sure.
Yeah. With sewage. And that you guys break this up because of the brewery on the other side. You're doing stuff, right?
I think so.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. Okay, this is. I did not see this either. Yeah, there was a door here too, or there's something that could close. There was a door here too, something that will close. In this groove, I would think. Maybe. Yeah, there's no reason for there to be a pipe. All right.
And let's go back.
I agree.
Underneath the bunker.
Yep.
We have a dryer running in there, so
Oh.
close the door.
Is this original?
I don't know.
Two.
And the Frühstück, 104 pieces, 100 centimeters, 250. I don't know.
That's probably
just from storage from
yeah. That
parts from us.
sounds beer related.
I don't have anything that we store beer in here, but some building materials, things like that.
Well, that's certainly original.
That's original.
Yeah. Unless you're expecting the Italians to attack you any minute.
Also, I did some photos sometime back behind that things, but there are only old bottles in there.
Really?
Yeah,
I mean,
from the old guys that worked here in the brewery that sip the beer. Nobody finds the empty bottle.
Of
Put
course.
it back there.
and they kept the brewery running during the war, didn't they?
Part-time. Yeah.
Part-time, yeah.
In the beginning, yes. We use it for storage for old things. I think that was for water. If something is burning.
Thanks.
I think in the back of the, you can go there, in there from the other side. It's easier.
Okay.
See if I can get this monster through here. I can.
That's not old. It is, but not that old. I think somewhere.
Well, at least they're your beers.
Somewhere here, they're the old. You can see the name. 1944.
Yeah. So, I wonder if that was a worker or what that was. Now this is, if there was anything that had come down. I did not see that name last time. You see any more than one? Is that one you see any others?
I think it's only that one that you can read anymore.
This was the emergency exit, wasn't it?
New emergency exit
Yes.
after the accident.
Yeah, because you really want to run 100 meters down a down a tunnel with burning, exploding rocket fuel coming after you. That sounds like a brilliant plan.
Better 100 meters than 500.
True, I appreciate your logic. Maybe they should have built this like snake-shaped, maybe? Would have been a little... I remember when we were at the duck factory, at the explosive plants, they had these tunnels, of course, and then on the right outside the tunnel, you could make a right or left into a little room where you can, they were told to just hold on to the handles. In case the explosives explode, you run out the tunnel, you turn right, and you hang on to the handles for the explosion. And that must have been a moral support, because explosives don't give you that much time at all. Well, it's reinforced well enough.
For the production, you needed enormous amounts of air.
Yeah. There's even more trees than last time.
True, they're growing.
Schleier also housed 5 machines producing about 300 tons of liquid oxygen per month, essential for V2 launches. Liquid oxygen was a bottleneck in the V2 program. This was identified as early as in August 1941. The site included 2 rocket test stands, the liquid oxygen plant, a huge transformer bunker, and a railway spur. Prisoners here expanded the brewery's tunnel system and built additional bunkers, including the one for the test stand. Von Braun and several others of the key rocket scientists were often here overseeing the events. In August 1944, a massive explosion destroyed part of the liquid oxygen plant, halting production. The cause is still unclear, but prisoners were suspected of sabotage, though accidents were common due to the volatile nature of liquid oxygen. Eventually, all testing from here relocated and moved more centrally placed to Rodbud in Lihesten. But this remained the only intact installation for testing and operation of the V2 rockets.
Control room here. All right. It does look like the side that was blown up here, doesn't it?
Yeah, I think that one was it.
I love these windows. Except when they're graining on me. I went to Von Braun's large test stands in Kummersdorf also.
Okay.
Very interesting. True beginning of how we got to the moon. But he never got back to me.
Okay.
I mean, I'm almost thinking he probably already was there.
Maybe. I don't know, there was a second one too, but I think it's lying down there.
Yeah. And here are the rails where you'd run the motor in on. And it'll be suspended from, something will be suspended from there. I'm not used to sticking out that much. Oh yeah. I think this is how you get in next door. That video I saw people do, they crawled up here and through that pipe and into the room next door. I think that's how they did it.
Okay.
I'll see if I can find it and send it to you, in case you need to shut it off. But they didn't say where they were, which is at least something. And I will say a lot of urban explorers, they don't cause any trouble. They just want to see stuff, and they don't steal anything.
Perfect.
I mean, most urban explorers, there's an unwritten key, a code, that you don't take things, you don't move things, you don't disturb history. You go there, you film it, you see it, and then you leave it alone. And usually, if they're professionals, I don't know if there's such a thing as a professional urban explorer, but if there were, they also don't share the location. Which I think is
You know the old hangar in Croatia or Serbia?
oh, that big, the biggest jet hangar in the world.
Yeah, where you can go by car in.
Yeah.
Yeah. And there is also somewhere in the back a room where old cards are there. So maps from the world. Still there.
I was like, yeah, that's nice, but that doesn't really help me a whole lot for a show. And then it will be suspended right here from the hook that's not in the ceiling. Why is there no hook in the ceiling? Well,
For the engine?
yeah.
It was over there.
Do you think it was hooked over there?
The
Oh, that at an angle?
they had a
It almost would have to have been, wouldn't it?
They had an angle down there. And we're hooked up there.
Or was there one of the tanks in here?
On top there was the control room, I think, and then there was the liquid nitrogen tank, and next to it the oxygen.
That makes sense why that was what exploded. It was the liquid of nitrogen, right?
Yeah.
It's like, when it seems like a brilliant idea to take something that's incredibly flammable and explosive and highly volatile and mix it with something else that's incredibly explosive volatile to make a rocket fly.
This is the huge generator bunker that housed 2 engines, and it really is a large, heavy block, similar to those attached to Hitler's train tunnels.
Bunkers for power plants are usually big, of course, because you would have to house enough energy in here, or energy production in here, that you could produce the fuels you would need for the rocket and operate the plant and the test site. So you have little, people really wouldn't be stationed here, nobody would be here except power plant, probably a couple of guards, and this is pretty much it. Just one very large room, of course, full of old tires, and a reinforced roof full of steel with cement, crawl spaces. Now the farmer's been using it, as indeed he might as well. So you can't really see that on the floor there would have been these placers for the generator. Don't know what the machinery was, but I remember it was something rather significant. Don't know if it was two submarine engines they had in here. I do not remember at this point for some reason, but that's sort of what comes to mind. This looks like that was cut out. Doesn't look like there's that much rebar protruding, but certainly there was rebar in it. As you can see here, what this was made of. Oh.
Now, what happened here in the last month of the war is really interesting. But for that, you have to watch my episode from here to hear that full story. So, taking one step backwards in the production chain, where did the rockets come from before they went here to Schleier? Well, they came from the Raxwerke, a subsidiary of Wiener Neustadt Lokomotivfabrik. It was a major armament factory during the Second World War, initially producing locomotive tenders, tank components and anti-aircraft gun parts, and then V-2 rockets. And one of the more interesting parts here is this large production hall, called the Serbenhalle. It was constructed by relocating a massive industrial hall all the way from Serbia, thus the name, where the German army literally dismantled this enormous structure and transported all the pieces and components here, using over 400 train carts, and then rebuilt it right here.
So you're saying they assembled V2s or V1s in here?
V2s.
V2s?
Yes.
The actual rocket parts. Did they assemble them or did they make them here?
They make them and they completed it here.
So they rolled out completed V2s from here?
Yep.
In the middle of Austria? How far are we from Berchtesgaden?
Oh, from Berchtesgaden it's about 200 kilometers.
From here? So we're closer to Vienna. Oh,
Yep.
yeah, we're way closer to Vienna, of course. Oh, in one of the forest lagers?
Yep.
Those are very interesting. So where we are walking around, I keep seeing all this rubble. Was there more here?
Yeah.
A hall here?
It was a complete construction area.
This has been used since the war, hasn't it?
Yes.
What did they do with this after?
Nothing, you see. It was completely left and abandoned.
Ever since, there's no industry moved in here, nothing.
Nothing.
But these rail tracks looks in really good shape. So they would reel the rockets out of here.
Yeah.
Please tell me there are any photos of any of this.
Yeah, the photos.
Outstanding.
There's the old gate.
So this was the inside of the area.
Yeah.
Who ran this? Who operated this?
Wiener Neustädter Flugzeugwerke.
Wiener Neustadt.
It was part of the...
Strange. 1939.
maybe just one bar was changed.
That's weird. Like, really weird. I can't believe nobody did anything with such a big building.
The Serbenhalle was originally 300 meters long, 70 meters wide, and 30 meters high. It was a railway wagon assembly hall located in Krashevo in Serbia. In 1942, in order to quickly expand the Raxwerke production in order to begin production of V-2 rockets, they decided to dismantle this hall and transport it to Wiener Neustadt. And here it is. The hall's design, with its wide span and no internal columns, was ideal for assembling large objects, just like V-2 rockets. which required vertical assembly due to them being 14 meters high.
It's used to store something.
Yeah, I figured it would be. Yeah.
This was a significant logistical effort, reflecting the urgency and importance of the project. Reassembly was completed here by mid-1943. The site was then secured with high-voltage barbed wire, guards, dogs, and production began. However, already in October 1943, the Americans bombed the nearby factory, damaging this hall slightly. That raised concerns that all the rocket parts should be moved underground. And indeed, the main production hall site was Dua Mittelbau. And by the way, there's far more out there in Nordhausen than you're told by the mainstream. We'll show you later, we were just there. Anyway, from June, some 1,200 laborers from Mauthausen was housed here for the construction part, whereafter most of them were relocated to Schleier. There are no documents clarifying if forced labor was involved in the actual production of V2s here at the Raxwerke.
Hell of a construction thing that you would build a factory hall of bricks and just sort of reinforce it sporadically with metal frames. And then we have, the hell is this thing? What was this? If there's a ladder in there, this may be a lot deeper than that. Old infrastructure from, well, a little bit of rail, a little bit of stuff, a little bit of signals, probably some cranes. There was a bunch of cranes in the roof inside. Why would you steal a building this big, take it apart, move it, and build it again? Why didn't you just build one from scratch here?
I don't know.
Vienna has plenty of bricks, there's plenty of steel works. Why move the bloody thing?
Just think this is the drainage, but we can have a look.
I mean, it sort of reminds me of Rangsdorf Airport, where the Russians took 2 entire hangars. I'm like, what the hell would you move an entire hangar? It's so much easier. I'm gonna put you back into it. This is where one of us should have brought a light. Well, I think this is a sewer because I see the bottom there.
No, if you're stationed in a old Kaserne of Gebirgsjäger, and when does the rainbow fox come?
Oh, in Sweden they already have them there. What, honey?
In English.
It's in English?
Yes, I don't think that's...
They're not operable. Well, okay. So it's OD green, it's original military something, but
the production is German. Zentrale ist der Hasegasse. Industrieprodukte.
oh yeah.
Yeah, it's in English.
So I wonder if it was here and then the Allied did something and had to slap on their own.
This was
Do not operate board until
introduced in Vienna.
a few rounds. This doesn't look like natural decay.
No.
These are impacts. Was there any fighting here?
They bombed it.
Okay. Well, okay, so it could be shrapnel impacts too. But they didn't bomb. They actually didn't hit the actual factory, did they?
No.
Since
Not
I'm looking at
that
the
one.
building.
But it was a lot of factories around that area.
So was that the Russians or the Americans?
The Americans.
You know, that's usually how we say hello in America. We'll blow up your living room, and we're coming for lunch, by the way.
Even better than the British ones.
I wonder if there was a coal power plant, coal heating plant. There would have been something, probably even heating maybe. So all the buildings here next to us are new.
These are new, yes.
Yeah. There was a factory there too.
Yeah, there was no civil houses in this area at all.
Relocating the main part of production of V2s was probably not a bad idea, given at the end of the war, only 18 of the 4,000 buildings here in town remained undamaged, which is almost impossible to fathom. But the hall itself was not actually damaged. To aim for the largest thing possible and then expressly not hitting it, but everything else, there must be almost a comedy in this.
These we've seen. These ventilators we've seen. Where have we seen those before? I saw them at Homestoff. They were hanging on the wall. This type of thing.
This one is an old one.
And this is just 100 meters, 150 meters, half of the hall. This is not even close to the whole thing. I wonder how many rockets they built. It's amazing. We only thought that they built rockets in so and so many different places. They built them right here, above ground. An above ground factory. So the cranes would have been to lift this stuff. I would imagine then there would have been cross beams or a rolling crane like the red one right there that would lift things in over the rail. All ventilators throughout. One can easily imagine this been sitting here full of tools at that time. It's just such an amazing construction facility. And remember, they replicated all of this underground, which is the amazing part. They built this whole factory complex underground as well, which is almost surreal to think that you have this huge factory up here, and then you have the same. You have the same underground in a number of places. This could very well be one of the old original machines. Almost strange if it wouldn't be. That looks very original.
So cool.
And this looks very interesting.
Oh, yeah, that's oh. I'm so glad I didn't bring my flashlight. Because someone said, we're not going to need a flashlight in here. It's just funny to think that they built all this here above ground, and they built the same thing underground. Probably the foreman would sit in here, hand out keys or name tags, and from the keys and the name tags from the big safe. That's all right. If there's anything in it, I would be shocked. This is a refrigerator? This is a fridge. Holy crap. A really old fridge. This is a very old fridge. I mean, if this was anything like today, this would be a fridge where the workers would get something cold to drink. I mean, that seems luxurious, but why not? There's a large breast. That's very concerning. I don't know. You Austrian, you guys, you deal with that. I don't know. Staircase. I mean, that's impressive, though. This is just.
Upstairs you have the really old office. Look at
And the mirrored doors. Oh, we're definitely going up there. Interesting color. Oh, this is cool. Damn, you don't see this anymore, do you?
Oh, we are very lucky.
Yeah. That's really something. That's really something you don't see. Where's Munchkin? Technical tunnel. Storage.
There's another Russian place.
You want to bet there's a staircase right here too? And there is.
Go up there.
I will bet the two staircases connect, so I think we should. I'm just gonna take a look at the bathroom. Oh, the machinery. This got to be original too. It's just funny how these things really didn't change from the time of the war much. Well, and a little bit of infrastructure for heating. Could it be heating?
Looks like heating, yes.
Yeah.
Already to have that.
Whoops. Wow, this is
the old original stuff, isn't it?
That's the original stuff, yes.
It is. Wow. This is something else.
Maybe original papers, maybe.
Oh,
Original papers.
oh, please let it be so. This is a very weird room. From when? What a shame. 62.
62 years.
Oh, well, they kept doing something here then. Did Munchkin go upstairs? I can hear her upstairs, so I guess she did.
She's on the first floor also.
It's amazing how much stuff she knows about details of World War II. I mean, considering how young she is.
Yeah, it's so beautiful. Have a look at it.
Holy shit. Wow. I mean, I don't know what way I want to go. I say we go the other way first. Wow, so this is the drawing room, literally.
I think so, yes.
They would be. So,
Offices for the engineers or something.
yeah.
It's so cool.
Some things never change. We'd have pulled that out of a Regelbauten. Head engineer office there with the window open? Okay. That's kind of brave with bad weather. Oh.
We have carpet on the floor.
Yeah, I guess this is a little newer.
Yeah.
Oh, the small skylights. And the big factory halls inside to the left or to the right. Oh wow! Well, there's actually one of those alive. Some of this is old, and then there's one that's alive. That's amazing. That they actually rewired this at some point to the.
You also has the name here.
What? And this thing just keeps going. Although this is not interesting anymore because it's been used so much since the war.
There you have the art. You saw it?
Huh?
The art. Locking rooms.
Yeah, but they're post-war. All this has been refurbished. But it gives you people an idea how big this is, but it's just... And all of these would have been offices at the same time back then as well. Oh, the final engineer's office. And we're back in the old drawing room. It's nice when young people are taking interest
Yes.
in history and what we do.
That's what we want.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Guess we'll find out. Thank you.
It wouldn't be the first abandoned place where I slide on.
Nope. But what a shame we can't find any original papers. Just one shipping manifest, anything would be amazing.
This floor is a little bit weird.
I think they used to be tile or plates. What's it called? This, you know, what are those square things? All right, let's not be stupid. It doesn't weigh 20 tons, did it? The warhead was 1 ton. 2,000 kilos on the crane. What did the V2 weigh? I mean, hard to not appreciate the old architectural details, even it was just a utilitarian factory building. Still had to make sure there was light. What are those floor tiles called? This is not what I was talking about. That's interesting.
Yeah.
Partial brick and wooden floor. I have not seen that before. That's okay. Why? Why would you deliberately make the floor heavier by laying stone on it? That makes no sense.
Nope. Oh, that one side. Now wooden floor. Okay.
Another wooden floor. And there's bricks under this, I think. Feels like something, maybe? I don't know. And here's a stone rolling ramp. There's metal. So you'd roll heavy carts? Because that's a heavy plate. Very strange. Oh, another staircase. What have we here? Wow. This is just... General Electric?
Yes.
Of course it's General Electric. I mean, even during the war, they were using General Electric. I think the Americans ran this after the war or something. Or the British, I get made. No, well, yeah, it could have been. Somebody did. Look at that insulation around those cables. That's interesting. And the wooden walls. This has a little 60s feel to it.
Yeah.
But this radiator, what is... That's newer. Yeah. So we are above this little alcove. We are... Windows, these are original.
This looks original.
They certainly do, yeah. And then you'd have the engineer sitting here and looking out over his... Open the window, see what's going on down the hall.
That's cool. Because I was able to take a look from inside, but I was never here before.
You know, sometimes we usually find things where we get really lucky with stuff. I mean, it goes out to the hall. I remember a red door from the other side. So, really appreciate you telling me I didn't need my light. I mean, that was very optimistic of you. Oh, so we're back out here again. Okay. What about this stuff? This looks pretty, like this cart here. If this cart and that table wasn't here during the war, I don't know what was.
That's very old.
That does look very old. That's not anything that was be done after the war. Oh, there she is. Good, she hasn't been arrested or killed. And the drawing board. That's a drawing board. Oh, look with the wheeled weights, so you can move the drawing board.
That's cool. There are 5 drawing boards.
Oh, the original drafting boards. Oh, this is so cool. I have a friend who's an architect who would probably love one of these, and I'm pretty sure her husband would kill me if I brought her one to their fancy mansion.
No date.
Hey, you haven't been killed or arrested.
Oh, 1994.
Now please tell me you found papers from 19... Holy shit. What do you think? World War II? Cool.
Could be, yeah. It's cool.
Merry Christmas.
Yeah, is from 1953.
53? Damn it. Like I was saying, what I wouldn't give for a piece of paper from before 45. Well, does your reenactment unit need a phone? We're wandering around looking at the offices. Keep it. Huh? Keep it. I mean, if you want to. Asbestos suit is a fire suit, isn't it? No, they can't.
Fire suit, yes.
But why wouldn't you have oxygen for the mask or anything? Why wouldn't there was no mouth? Good. I like that machine. All right. Well, if we ever come back, a little pulley.
Oh, it started to rain.
Now also we did return to Leheste in Rotbod, where they also tested V2 rocket engines, as you may have seen in one of my previous episodes. It had a huge underground factory here producing liquid oxygen. We'll take you there. That is something to see. Amazing what they could build underground. See you next time. My name is Tino Struckmann. I run Lost Battlefields. Every year I travel around the world to try to bring you to all the most interesting historical military locations from modern wars and World War II special projects, battlefields, forts, fortresses, and tunnels, everything else. Things you may not be able to see or go to yourselves. Please join me on Patreon or join Lost Battlefields through the website so you get access to all my files and my notes. It really does help, and like, follow, share here on the channel if you can. That helps too.